Today, I'm diving deep into China's infrastructure versus America's. And by the end of this video, you're gonna know exactly which infrastructure you would prefer. I'm challenging myself to actually find out how far behind is the US in their infrastructure. Well, I've been living in China for 13 years, and annually I go back to the US. So I see both sides of the infrastructure. Watch this video, see what I see, and at the end of the video, I'll give you my honest opinion on who's leading the infrastructure race. Enjoy. And speaking of infrastructure, these are the great people in China who make it happen. Ni hao.
Hello.
Ni hao. Again, no matter where I meet people, regardless of what type of people I meet in China, they're all the same. Kind, warm, very friendly. But you won't hear about that in the Western media, will ya? When we think of infrastructure, we often think of roads, bridges, and highways. But it goes far beyond that. Infrastructure is the backbone of country's economy, the foundation for which growth and development are built. And when we compare China's infrastructure to America's infrastructure, the difference, in many people's opinion, is staggering. China has been racing ahead, building entire cities from scratch, while the US has been stuck in neutral, struggling to even maintain what it already has. And China is just building with the China speed. And this saying here, build an outstanding life together. Again, talking about that harmony in China. All the different development going on throughout China is just simply amazing. Can you just take a peek at how beautiful it is in China today? Pretty much like this all the time. Wow! What a beautiful day as I cruise around. Amazing. So as for China, let's take a look at a few of the high-level key projects that continue to take place in China.
China's infrastructure development is at an unprecedented scale, focusing on ambitious projects that are reshaping not only its economy, but also the global landscape. Investments in railways, ports, and urban infrastructure are significant components of this strategy. There's a massive amount of capital allocated to these projects, and this represents a commitment to enhancing connectivity, fostering economic growth, and asserting China's position on the global stage. While China is pushing forward with its infrastructure expansion, it remains to be seen how other nations, particularly the United States, will respond to remain competitive. One of the most striking achievements in China's infrastructure development is its extensive high-speed rail network, which has been expanding rapidly since its introduction. The country now boasts the world's largest network of high-speed rail, with plans to further extend its reach to connect remote areas with major urban centers. This initiative not only reduces travel times significantly, but also facilitates regional economic development, boosting tourism and commerce. As the system continues to grow, it sets a benchmark for other nations aiming to modernize their transportation systems. China is investing heavily in megaports and urban infrastructure. The development of over 30 new airports by 2030, particularly in rapidly growing cities, and this is aimed at enhancing air travel capacity and connectivity. Moreover, urban projects in cities like Beijing include new subway lines and green spaces, aiming to support the urban population and promote sustainable urban living. Such developments demonstrate China's focus on comprehensive modernization and urbanization, which many other countries struggle to match. At the core of China's global infrastructure influence is the Belt and Road Initiative, an ambitious project aiming to create a vast network of infrastructure spanning over several continents. Launched to connect China with Central Asia, Europe, and beyond, the BRI encompasses roads, railways, pipelines, and ports. Since its inception, the initiative has garnered excitement, offering significant economic opportunities for participating countries. The BRI represents China's strategic approach to solidifying its economic ties with participating countries and its positive influence across the globe. Where is most of the construction happening in China? Well, China's construction industry is poised for significant growth, driven by major infrastructure projects across the country. This includes urban expansion initiatives in Beijing, green energy projects in Shanghai, and continued high-speed rail network development. Additionally, there are airport expansions and government support for smart city and rural infrastructure development. You know, China's construction industry is one of the fastest growing markets globally, attracting substantial investments. The focus on urban development, transportation, and sustainable energy projects is really driving the construction boom in China. Some key infrastructure projects include the Beijing urban expansion. Beijing is expanding its urban infrastructure, including new subway lines, green spaces, and high-rise residential buildings. These initiatives aim to ease congestion and promote sustainable urban living. Then, there's Shanghai's green energy projects. Shanghai is heavily investing in green energy projects, such as offshore wind farms, solar power plants, and energy-efficient buildings. The focus on sustainable construction aligns with China's commitment to achieving carbon neutrality. China continues high-speed rail network development, with more expansion of its high-speed rail network connecting remote regions to major urban centers. This network aims to reduce travel times, boost tourism, and facilitate regional economic development. As mentioned, additional airport expansions are taking place. These airport expansions are crucial for supporting China's growing air travel industry and improving connectivity between urban and rural areas. The government policies and construction growth for more smart city initiatives in China continues to move at a rapid speed. China's government is pushing forward with smart city initiatives, integrating IoT technology, smart traffic systems, and green building standards. Rural infrastructure development. China is focusing on developing infrastructure in rural areas to reduce the urban-rural divide, including the construction of roads, bridges, and public utilities.
When you hear about U.S. infrastructure, whether that's roads, bridges, highways, subways, rail network, do you ever ask yourself, what is holding back America and the American government at moving forward to improve the infrastructure in the U.S.? So is the bottom line in America that the U.S. government is just holding back progress at developing the infrastructure, and China is simply just leaving the U.S. in the dust? The United States faces so many challenges when it comes to upgrading the infrastructure within the country. One of the main reasons why the U.S. infrastructure is just degrading daily, it's simply old and continues to age. Many of the roads, highways, and bridges were built in the 1950s and 1960s. And not to mention, the U.S. government has a decentralized system, with the federal government, the state government, and the local government never agreeing to move any high-level important projects forward. It's simply difficult to make large-scale projects successful in the U.S. because everything is decentralized. And furthermore, there's simply a lack of funding in the U.S. Many infrastructure projects rely on a lot of funding, and the funding models in the U.S. are obsolete. And again, what I mentioned earlier, governments, federal, state, and local, just can't agree on anything. U.S. funding models, which are outdated, just cannot handle the 21st century economy. So not to mention, the U.S. infrastructure is 50 years behind. Their system is also. And keep in mind, don't forget about the bureaucratic red tape in the U.S., which is simply a joke. The red tape simply slows down project timelines, making it nearly impossible to get anything done quickly. When we tend to only fix problems after they become a problem, rather than invest in preventive measures, stuff falls apart, like in the U.S. The U.S. is simply not proactive, and they are reactive to infrastructure issues in the U.S. For example, the U.S. will wait until a bridge collapses or gets ready to collapse and is condemned before they will rebuild it, reinforce it. Simple business practice. Invest in preventive maintenance ahead of time. Don't wait till something simply collapses and falls apart. Preventive maintenance will fix things before they happen. On top of what I just said, the U.S. has a culture of aversion to debt, which makes it difficult to raise the necessary funds for large-scale infrastructure projects. This is a stark contrast to China, which has no qualms about taking on a debt to fuel its development for their society. Completely opposite of the U.S. Let me say that again. China has no problem investing in its country and taking care of their people. That's what happens here in China, but not in the U.S. Instead, in the U.S., federal government, state government, local government can't agree on anything, not to mention there's no money. China spending money is exactly why this country is modern, state-of-the-art, high-tech everywhere. New roads, new bridges, new buildings going up everywhere because they spend money for the people. But the U.S. is stuck in the past. China, on the other hand, from the U.S., has been pouring massive amounts of money into the economy and infrastructure, building new roads, highways, bridges, tunnels, subways, high-speed trains, new buildings. They've even built cities from complete scratch. China now has the most advanced transportation system in the world. These trains in China are quickly becoming some of the fastest in the world and the most efficient when it comes to on-time traveling. They're never late. And how about the bridges in China that constantly get built from scratch or upgraded? And the quality of work in short period of time is simply amazing. How about the Hong Kong-Macau Bridge that spans from Hong Kong to Macau and only took 4 years to complete? And in the US, they can't even start to build a new bridge, not to mention quickly repair the bridges that are falling apart. China's most impressive feats is its high-speed rail network, which has grown a decade plus, which is simply amazing on how many tracks have been laid out. And if we hang around enough, perhaps we can see a train coming by. As we see some of the skyline off in the distance. Again, just such a beautiful day here in China. Look at this, just blue skies everywhere. Here's one pulling into the station. Goes pretty slow here. Let's see if we can see the tail of it. China's high-speed rail system is also incredibly efficient, with trains departing and arriving on schedule to the minute. When you compare that to the US, where the US high-speed rail system is practically non-existent, and you can see why China is leaving the US in the dust. How about airports? How about the new international airport in Beijing? That is quickly becoming one of the busiest airports in the entire world. The airport is a marvel of engineering with a futuristic design that's both beautiful and functional. The best part, it was completed within budget and within 5 years. Put that in perspective on what's going on in the US. The US cannot build new airports. Where's the funding going to come from? Where's the agreements going to come from with federal, state, and local governments? How long have they been trying to build new terminals at LaGuardia in New York or other airports around the United States? Simply takes decades to get things done in the US. When, again, as I mentioned before, China moves with speed, and that speed has a quality of work. China's infrastructure development is not just about building new projects. It's also about upgrading the current buildings, bridges, highways, rail. Constant upgrading for safety. As I hop in a DD to get taken somewhere. But going back to the airports, take for example the Beijing Capital Airport that was remodeled in under 3 years and under budget. In contrast to the airports in the US, it takes decades to get something done. And it cost billions and billions of dollars that is over budget and not on time. The result of the remodeled airport in Beijing gives it a modern look, more efficient. Travelers travel easy in and out of the airport. In contrast, the US has been struggling to upgrade its own airports, with projects often taking decades to complete and costing billions of dollars more than expected. It's clear that China's infrastructure development is far more effective and is simply leaving U.S. in its wake. So what can the U.S. learn from China's approach to infrastructure development? For one, they need to be more proactive in their approach, investing in preventative measures rather than reacting to problems as they arise. The U.S. has to be willing to take on debt and allocate that debt appropriately and not spend time looking to scrounge up funds for the projects. And they need to be more efficient in project timelines, streamlining the process to get things done quickly and effectively. The difference between China's infrastructure and America's infrastructure is stark. While China is racing ahead, building modern and more efficient systems and being the envy of the world, the U.S. is stuck in neutral, and they're struggling to maintain what they already have. It's clear that China's approach to infrastructure development is off the charts. It's clear that the U.S. has a lot to learn from China's infrastructure approach. The urgency to address lagging infrastructure in the U.S., it's time. It's not only a matter of economic sustainability, it's also to take care of society, the people of the U.S., the taxpayers of the U.S. So in conclusion, my take on this, China's extensive investment in infrastructure throughout the country is truly remarkable, leaving other countries, in particular like the U.S., in the dust. It's going to take the U.S. decades to even get close to where China is with their infrastructure. Just think about how many things China is doing for the people of China. It's impressive. It far exceeds any expectations for any visitors. It's amazing. And what's my take on all this? Growing up in the U.S., being in China now, going back to the U.S. annually, there's no comparison. China is simply leaving the U.S. in the dust when it comes to infrastructure. So anyways, that's it. Thank you for watching the video. I do appreciate everybody's support. And do me a favor, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. I would really appreciate it. I want to get this channel out to more people. I want them to hear and see the truth about China. If they're blind to China due to the Western media, misinformation, I'll give you the truth. China is a wonderful place, a great place, and the infrastructure is simply amazing. So do me a favor, like I said, please subscribe, like, and share this video. I respect everybody's opinion, so please leave a comment below. Let's get some dialogue on infrastructure. How's China doing, folks? Be honest. What do you think about China's infrastructure? What do you think about what they're doing for the people? I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing. And when I go back to the U.S., it's disappointment. Unfortunately, that's how I feel. Amazing in China, disappointment in the U.S. over the infrastructure. Take care, be good, be safe. See you in the next one.